Yo, how's it going, man?
What's up, brother? You hear me?
Yeah, man, all good, all good.
Yeah, I'm at this hotel and they're like doing construction, so I was trying to find like a quiet spot, but so
All
good,
good,
man.
man. Where are you? Are you in
Yeah,
America
I'm I'm
still
in
or not?
I'm in California. Yeah, San Diego.
Okay, cool, man. I
Yeah.
messaged you before, man, about the time because it said scheduled for 9, so that's why I messaged you again saying like what's going on here, but we managed to do it.
Oh shoot, did it say 9? Okay, because you
Yeah,
got
when I
messed
when
up
I
the.
joined in.
Okay, nah, man, we must have messed up the times, but it's all
It's all
good,
good,
man.
bro.
We're here, we're chilling. You're moving out here soon though, right? You're going out to where you go back to Aussie?
I'm going to go Europe in like 4 days, man.
Okay.
So yeah, different continent finally.
Nice, man. Chill, chill, chill. Cool. Well, um, yeah, dog. I guess let's just roll, man. It's already recording, so usually I just do this pretty casually. But yeah, I would love to just introduce you. And yeah, I mean, it's sick guest here, Brock, guys. For any of you guys that don't know, he's kind of low key, honestly. He's been living down in Paraguay. He's been popping around, Central America throughout the pandemic. Escaped Australia, as a lot of you guys know. Australia was not really it during COVID. It was a little locked up at some other places like Canada and whatnot. So us guys here, we love to stay mobile. We love to keep our freedom. So we're always searching for freedom. That's my North Star. I'm sure Brock's the same. Location, time, and financial freedom, and that's the North Star here. So yeah, Brock, I love to bring guys on here on Risk Takers or History Makers podcast here. Dudes who are going against the grain, doing something maybe a little different, taking kind of the untraditional path. And yeah, inspiring other dudes that kind of want to escape that maybe that 9 to 5 or that traditional path that they've maybe been lied to, or maybe that's something that they just don't feel is their path anymore and looking for ways to escape. So yeah, I'll interrupt, give you a little background, I guess, run an online business, but tell us a little bit more, kind of what you do, and kind of give these guys kind of the rundown.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, you pretty much hit on the nail on the head with everything there. I'm basically all about freedom. That's the main drive for me. And the way I saw the answer to being able to get that was through making money online, right? So, as long as I was able to do that, I knew I had location freedom, and life was on my terms and not someone else's. So ever since I was about 15, 16, that's just been the goal, man. Like that was my dream. I always wanted to make money online. I was always stuck into self-development, hanging around dudes that, wanted to go to the gym, wanted to get more confident, wanted to make money online, wanted to travel, whatever it was, to do with bettering yourself. That's what I was into at the time. And I actually have 2 older brothers, and my oldest brother, we're super, super close. And he helped me a lot, man. He gave me like a real big boost at a young age. He's like 4 years older than me, so he kind of went through all the bullshit, and realized what was going on, and how it is, and kind of just gave me like sat me down and said, man, like this ain't the road, and
Yeah.
what they lay out and whatnot. And yeah, that's basically the beginning of it. And then yeah, now I run a self-publishing business, from Amazon. I've been doing that for about 5 years now. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've been traveling South America for a year and a half now. So that's
Hell
basically the
yeah.
gist of it.
Okay, man. Well, let's say, like, you know, let's say you're 18, right? You're 19, and you're trying to find those guys, and you're kind of diving into that self improvement path, right? And it's obviously a process, not something that happens overnight. And you had the benefit of having an older brother, maybe some people around you.
Yeah.
How would you recommend guys like going off, like, I don't know, for me, start hard to find guys who are actually on that same path when you're so young, right? Maybe all your friends are not into the same stuff. Maybe they're not into making money online. Maybe they're not into the self improvement stuff. How do you find those kind of people when you're starting out? How do you surround yourself with those kind of guys?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a good question, man. Like, even for myself, that was probably one of the hardest things because Perth is one of the most isolated cities in the world. Are you still there, bro? You cut out a bit. Yeah, so what I was saying is Perth's the most isolated city in the world, and there's not that much going on there, man. Like it's super chill. And it's actually very hard to find guys on the same path that want to get it. And so, man, like I would just do my best to find who I could at the time, you know, my brother's friends or friends of friends, or if I knew guys on Instagram that were posting things that I you know resonated with, I'd message them. You know, there's different meetups and stuff that you can go to inside like Facebook groups. But for the most part, man, like it's very lonely, and you're just gonna have to deal with that at the beginning. I truly think, like, especially if you're in the Western world, not many dudes are on the same wavelength, and they don't think, you know, in this way. So for the most part, you're really just gonna have to almost just go through the loneliness and build your business, make money online. Because the biggest factor that changed, you know, the people that I hang around was me leaving. And you're not able to do that for a long time unless you start making money online. So I would just be, you know, listening to people that you look up to, YouTube, podcasts, us boys. There's a lot of good Discord channels out there that you could probably, you know, get into through people that you find on YouTube and whatnot. And yeah, man, just fucking go all in.
Who were some of those guys that you looked up to? I guess some of your, like, who would you say were some of those guys that were your maybe inspirations, mentors, whatnot? Some of these groups that you first joined.
Well, I mean, how we found each other, right? Like through Mind Gadsby, people like him, like that's a solid one right there. Man, it's hard to say. I mean, you might have like blogs out there. I used to follow some really like cool blogs back in the day. That's how I kind of grew at the beginning when I was about 16, 17. I used to read a blog called boldanddetermined.com. It's not around anymore, but, you know, maybe if you get stuck into the comments there, or, you know, Reddit channels, things like that, you might end up finding some dudes that are on the same path. Or, you know, the biggest thing where I met some cool dudes was, obviously I bought many courses inside Amazon self-publishing, and there's always free Facebook groups that come with that. And so the guys that are in that Facebook group are posting, etc., usually, obviously, they want to make money online. So 9 times out of 10, they're on the same wavelength, right? So usually you find them through there as well. That's probably the best one.
Gotcha. So yeah, man, I guess, yeah, you're running online business, man. What was your first thing that you tried? Was the first thing you tried, you know, Amazon publishing, or what was that process like? Because a lot of times, man, the first thing guys try is not always the thing that takes off, right? There's always often a lot of times a failure, and you got to kind of find your way. So you had your older brother, was he doing this too? Or what was that process like getting into this?
I think, so actually the beginning of it wasn't a business. It was just a way to make money. And what me and my brothers would do was, like, sports betting is very popular in Australia, right? And they give out like free promotions and bonus bets and, you know, all these different promos. Yeah. And so, for example, they'd run ones on the horses, and it would be like, oh, okay, if you put $50 on a horse to win, but it comes second or third, you get your money back. And so what we would do is we bet on the horse to win. And then we would also lay it, which means we bet on it to lose. We create a bet that basically makes no sense, even out the bets. And then we just sit there and hope that it came second or third. We get the money back and you make the 50. So I did that for a very long time, like probably a year or two when I was 18, while I was working my 9 to 5. And, you know, eventually it comes to the point. My 9 to 5 was, I don't know if you know the company Telstra. It's like a big phone internet company in Australia. And I used to just sell like mobile plans and internet plans and shit like that. I was cold calling people. I learned a lot through that, actually. It was a pretty, it was a good job as like a first job, you know, like to learn sales.
Yeah, no, definitely. Sales is something you can use. I mean, I always use sales now and all my ventures, man. And it's something that you can use across every single business, man. That's cool. So you went from that straight into gambling on horses, and then how'd they get to publishing?
Yeah, it's called like risk-free betting. So that's what happened there.
Okay.
So yeah, during that process, I was actually, this was just before I was doing my last, my year 12 exams, like my end of year exams, you know, before you go to uni. And my brother was doing drop shipping at the time, and he was having some success with that. But he listened to a podcast one day, and it was a guy from Melbourne who was selling books on Amazon. And so I'm 17, and my brother says, "Man, like this seems like a pretty cool thing for you. Like the investment's quite low. You should buy this course." So I went and bought that course while I was doing the end of year exams, finished the exams, and eventually I got stuck into that course and created my first book. It failed, and then that's when it was the next year. I didn't want to go to uni. I knew it wasn't for me, and I worked for 9 months. I couldn't stand it any longer. I hated the full-time job. I genuinely just could not stand it any longer, so I just quit. And then that's when I was like, well, fuck, I need money. So what I'm going to do? And that's when I began to.
Did you have any kind of cash saved up when you quit?
Yeah, man, I had about like 5 or 6 grand behind me. Not much, but it was enough
Okay.
to
So you literally
invest
this is
some.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, pretty much. I just couldn't handle it anymore, basically. And then I just got stuck back into that first book that I originally created that failed. I went through the course again, and I went through like, where did I go wrong? Like what can I do again? Anyway, so eventually I fixed up some things and republished it out there. And man, I made like $700 in like 1 month for my first month from this one book. And that's when I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And then that's basically it, man. It changed from there.
I love that, man. No, because I mean, a lot of guys they start something, they try something. I've seen this very often. Like they'll try a lot of different stuff, and then the first time they might not necessarily get the success they want, right? So, and a lot of
Yeah.
guys are comfortable and they want to make sure that their second income matches their first income before they quit. So, what do you think about that? Do you think that's good to try to run something on the side, or do you think it's better to just balls to the wall, just what, burn the ships, go all in? Because that's what I did. I was like, I'm gonna make this work. I can't keep being half in, half out. I got to go 100%.
Yeah.
Even if I'm
Yeah.
like sleeping on a couch, homeless, I don't care. It's going to happen. And then I had that mindset where it's like, even if I fail and I try 100 different things, eventually I'm going to get there, and I'm not going to take no as an answer. Right. And
Yeah.
that when I had that switch that flipped in my mind where I was like, this is not just a quick, I'm gonna try this method, I'm gonna do drop ship. I'm gonna do it like, so I've been through all the modern wealth, making things online, man, and making money online. And it was like, okay, this is going to happen regardless. It's just a matter of when. Right. So when I had that
Yeah.
mindset switch, that's when it became more of like a reality, and it became more tangible for me. Right. So
Yeah,
what would you say about that?
I mean, I 100% agree with you on that one. I think you should just go all in and put your eggs in one basket. Many people tell you not to do that, but I truly think that that's what it takes at the end of the day. But in saying that, like you can go the other way as well. It's just, I know for me, when I was working a job, man, I was just fucking brain dead, man. I was just, I couldn't think properly, man. I came back from work and I was so
You're
just,
tired, man. You want to just like relax.
yeah,
'cause
man.
you're just giving it all.
And like, I've been on the phone all day, bro, just selling and obviously like getting heaps of rejections and all sorts. So like, I was just brain dead, and I didn't want to do anything after work. So yeah, I agree, man. I think you should just quit and go all in. But I think your main goal should be doing something like save as much money as you can, get rid of all the bullshit. If you've got a nice car, downgrade. If you've got nice clothes, get rid of them, sell everything that you have, basically become homeless. And eventually, if you get to that like 10K savings, 15K savings, you could be in a pretty good spot to just go all in. And in that case, you could probably go and move to somewhere like Thailand or South America. And, you can live quite nice on 1,000 a month. Now, let's say you've got, fucking 12K in the bank. You can go to Chiang Mai or somewhere, even here in Paraguay where I am, for 12 months, and you can live. So like that's 12 months of time to figure something out, and then, I mean, maybe you want some more if you need to invest in whatever it is. But if you're doing freelancing, you don't really need any money behind you. Right.
No, that's good. That was one of the big lessons from one of my mentors, man. He was like, you move somewhere cheap, like Bali, Cape Town, one of these, Southeast Asia, somewhere where you can, it doesn't take much to live. And then you have a lot more, time to fail. You have time to try things out. And for me, man, early on, I was trying so many different things that I had to come down to like, yeah, one of my early misconceptions was I have to do a lot, right, as an entrepreneur. And I found that
Yeah.
actually by choosing one thing, like you said, put all your eggs in one basket, you have more brain power towards that. You can't do 50-50, but if you're 100% on one thing, it's just a matter of time. It's a consistency game.
Yeah.
It's showing up each day. It's doing the boring work. It's, making those calls, doing those cold emails and going and doing it over and over. And eventually, you're gonna have success. But it's like, man, it's very hard because I've been through I used to work at a restaurant. I was in the restaurant industry. I used to work in catering, and I would get home, man, and I was just be dead. I didn't have any energy to put towards trying to start a business or running something, man. Like so for
Yeah.
me, I just had to go all in.
For sure, man. Yeah, I agree. And it's like this snowball effect. That's the way I look at it. It's like, okay, if you're like not trying to do multiple different things, because that's what a lot of people do. They get shiny object syndrome. They want to go start the drop shipping. They want to go start copywriting, and they don't stay long. Like, you need to stay in it for longer, even when you get those hurdles, those speed bumps. You just need to keep staying and stay in longer. And eventually, what will end up happening is your one snowball is going to get bigger, because that's the only snowball you're focusing on. But if you've got like 5, they're all going to be tiny. So that's the way I like to think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
Bro, I just came up with that randomly from my fucking head. But yeah,
great
makes
analogy,
sense.
man. It makes sense. Become the copywriter, become the agency owner, become the drop shipper, become the Amazon FBA, become the publisher, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That is
Well,
you.
and,
Your identity.
at least give it a year, and people going about it the wrong way. Like, I think the biggest mistake a lot of people make is they're too scared to invest in coaching, man. Like, find the guys that are winning. Find the guys that are doing the same thing and they're killing it. Even if it costs you 300, 400, 500 US for an hour call, just fucking do it. Like, that's my advice.
Oh yeah, bro. Investing, yeah, programs that I've invested, yeah, 5, probably even, I don't even know, like at least over 5 figures of yeah, dough into programs, masterminds, and through you learn, man. You going to the people that are actually doing what you want to do. You're learning from people that are actually, doing what you want to do, right? Like it's that simple. And for me,
Yeah.
good 2 years of me, getting into the making money online space. I got kind of lucky. My first agency, which was in copywriting, I kind of stumbled and I was in a successful business, between, anywhere from 2 to 5,000 a month, for good, consistent, like 2, without any kind of mentorship or training. But I remember when I first got into my first, program, whoa, should have been like a lot sooner, because it would have exponentially helped me, and I would have gotten to where I am now a lot faster. And since then, man, I'm a course junkie. I'm a program junkie. I mean, I love knowledge. I'm always probably learning more now from men guys than even in uni, right? And that being said, you try a business, and some people they just try it for a couple months, right? This is a year, 2, 3, 5-year thing. I mean, you look at how people and studying a degree, sometimes a useless degree that they don't even use, and they spend 4 years of their life to spend 40, 50 grand a year on it, to do nothing with it, to be in debt. So what's 1 year? What's 2 years? What's 3 years? And $500 to $3,000, $5,000 in prem, right? That's nothing compared to what you literally just sometimes 6 years. If you're going for a master's, a lot of people go for the master's. Do nothing with it, man. Like, you don't need a master's.
It makes me laugh, man.
To run business. You don't.
Yeah.
Need a degree in business. You maybe, yeah, I talk about this a lot, but yeah, maybe doctors, these traditional things, but in business, you don't need that, man. You need to be learning from people that are doing what you want to do.
I'm on the exact same page. When it comes to the business, the marketing inside uni, complete waste of time. I mean, these people that are teaching you do not have a successful business. They don't have a successful marketing agency. They're poor as fuck. They still work a 9 to 5. They can't travel.
Have freedom. They don't have time freedom. They don't have financial freedom. They're not traveling the world,
And like, that's just like a part of it. And it costs fucking 50K or 30K, whatever it is. It's super overpriced. Like, you have to sit there and think, like, there is a reason they give you this interest-free loan. There is a reason. They want you to do it. Like, there's no, like, they're not doing you a favor. And I think that's where you need to make the switch, man. It's like the government and the system and the way it works, they don't care about you. They don't want to, this system is set up in a way for you to get stuck. So you can't make the risks and travel and be rich. They want you to work for them. They want you to go to uni, get good grades. They want you to pay for the loan. They want you to buy your house. There's a reason they give you first home buyers grants, you know, like there's a reason behind this. I mean, if you think,
dude,
deeply,
a house is that's the largest, you know, that's the greatest product of a bank ever, man. A house, a mortgage.
Oh man, yeah.
That locks you in.
We could go on
locking in for
forever
30
about,
years.
well, this is the thing, man. It's like, you know, okay, some people say, oh, you know, dead money, rent, blah, blah, blah. I understand some sides of the stories here and there. But the truth is, man, when you're in your 20s, that is the time where you need to be taking risks, right? And so if you go and buy a house, you've just put yourself in a situation where you can't take risks. You've got a fucking big mortgage on your head. You're not making that much money. You have to keep working and working and working and working to pay off this thing that's going to take 20, 30 years, God knows. And it's just sad, bro. It really is sad that like what happens.
Yeah, I mean, there's some situations where it is good if it's like a duplex, or you know, you have like a a roommate situation.
Yeah.
Where, you know, have like a multifamily unit. But for the single family home, you just need a place to live. It's not necessarily it, man. But yo, tell me more about you're traveling, bro. Like you've been going all over. When did you first leave Australia?
I left Australia at the end of January 2021. No, sorry. Yeah, I think it was 2021. Yeah, it was 2021. And actually, it was 2022. Sorry, bro. It was during the heat of fuck, man, it's gone so quick. I honestly don't even know. Like, it was during the heat of COVID, bro. And I mean, I don't want to go too much into like all the COVID crap, but basically, I wasn't happy with what was going on, and it was just fucking crazy, man. So it got to the point where I was like, all right, well, you're gonna have to get me out of here. So I ended up trying to leave.
You did a little situation, bro. Because you told me you did something. You had to kind of convince them somehow to get out of Australia.
Well, yeah, man. So
because they weren't going to let you out.
Yes. Well, I decided not to get vaccinated, so they decided to make it harder for me to leave. So when I tried leaving,
you're not vaccinated. What?
You're kidding, bro. You're gonna die.
Oh, you're gonna die.
So yeah, bro. They fucking denied my exemption letter. So I was pretty pissed about that. And then eventually I sent a second one letting them know that I wanted to go and translate my books in South America to Spanish. And they accepted it. So I booked a flight to Mexico to meet my brother. And man, the plane was empty. I was sleeping across all 4 seats. I stopped off in Portugal for a few days. And yeah, got to Mexico end of January. And man, honestly, one of the best decisions I've ever made. And since then, I've just been in South America for a year and a half now. I did 6 months Mexico, 6 months Panama, a couple of weeks in Colombia, and I've just done 6 months in Paraguay now as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember you were, because I lived down in Mexico for like latter part of 2021, and I remember you were down there like kind of after that, and you were in some of the same spots, Tulum, Playa del Carmen. You were out in, where else did you go? Chiapas. Forget where else you went, but yeah, you were all over Mexico. Guadalajara, Mexico City.
3 months.
Yeah,
good city, man. Good city.
That's sweet.
And yeah.
So, do you recommend? What did you learn? What have you learned? What do you recommend about traveling to these guys? Like, obviously, it's something that you can. It's cheaper, man. Like some guys are asking me, like, how do you travel so much, man? Because I just got back from a 7-month, I was on a world tour, while running all my businesses, and people ask like, what's like, how are you able to like afford all this? I'm like, listen, if you do it right, man, it's actually cheaper to be traveling, especially when you're in these poor countries, right? These developing countries.
Yeah, man.
Right. So
yeah, it's a lot cheaper. Well, I mean, it also depends on your lifestyle, right? Like, I kind of maybe spend like the same, maybe a little bit less, but I have like a way better lifestyle, right?
Hmm.
So there's, it depends where you're at, like financially and what you want to do there. But ideally, you could probably live quite well on like $1,000 a month, as I was saying to you before. Depends on the city as well, right? Like Playa del Carmen was a bit more touristy, and so some parts of that wasn't so cheap. But you got places like where I am right now, Paraguay, Asuncion. Like, man, this is the perfect place to live. It's super, super cheap.
Talk about
My
Estacion, yeah.
lifestyle, bro, my lifestyle here is insane. Like I have a cleaner once a week. I barely do any dishes. I have an office at the top of the floor. Um, it's super cheap. The food's fucking awesome. I get amazing steak, like the best steak I've ever had in my life. Um,
At that one
it's
spot, was it?
bro,
Yeah, I keep seeing all your
La
stories.
Cabrera. Yeah, bro, it's
Huge.
fucking lived
He's
there
got
at
this
this
huge
point.
tomahawk steak, man. Oh, looks juicy.
Yes. Oh, it's so good, man. So I was saying to you before, it's like $25 here, US. But that same steak at the exact same restaurant in Miami is like 130 US or something stupid, man. So it's just crazy. But yeah, I get food delivered every day. So I mean, Asuncion for me, man, is just super convenient, and it's like basically my place to focus on work. I wouldn't say it's the most exciting place in the world, obviously, but it's the best place to work on your Spanish and do work. I believe.
Workflow.
Yes, bro. Sure, for
So
sure.
you fluent
Yeah.
in Spanish now?
Oh, nah, man. I'm probably like a 6 out of 10. I'm getting better though. Like, I don't know if what I can, it's very hard to say, man, but I can get around. I can do most things. I'm definitely not fluent though. I'm probably like a 7-year-old, if that makes sense, in Spanish.
Like a child. I
Yeah,
always tell
bro,
people,
pretty
I
much.
always say like the best way to learn a language is from the kids. They don't care about
From the
if you
kid.
mess up. From the kids, yeah.
Yeah,
So if you
yeah,
talk to kids, you learn the basic stuff. Helps girlfriend from there.
yeah. What about you, man? Like, where's your Spanish at?
I'd say it's probably similar, man. Like, yeah, I think we talked about this before. Yeah, like 5, 6. I
Five,
can
six.
understand
Yeah,
most
yeah.
things, but I'm not having in-depth conversations, but I can get by. I can know some for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, here in Paraguay, there's less people that speak English. There's like, it's very rare you find people that speak English. So if you really want to like, if there's any guys out there that want to learn, like you got to put yourself in situations where they just don't speak English, and yeah, Asuncion's a good place for that.
Oh, I mean that's the best, man.
Um,
When I was down in like the Playa del Carmen region, yeah, there's people that speak English down there, so it's hard to
yeah,
be fully assimilated. But when you go like deeper into Mexico or these places, yeah, like Paraguay or like places that are more off the grid or the off the beat, I say, like, you for like man, say for me, I spent a lot of time with I told you this with Portuguese. The first time I went down there, really anyone spoke in 1 to 2 months. I was
yeah,
like, I went from knowing nothing to like such a crazy level.
yeah, bro. You have to throw yourself in the deep end. But yeah, I made the biggest jump here for sure, and I was like, I've been dating a girl that doesn't speak English, so I mean, man, that's probably the best thing. If you can find a girl that doesn't speak English, then you're gonna get really good.
Nice. So, bro, tell me more about the biz side things, right? Like, so you, I don't know how much you can get into, or you want to get into, but you basically you're writing books and you're selling them on Amazon, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you have a
So,
team.
yeah. So basically, back in the beginning of it all, it was super like shotgun approach. I was just getting into everything and anything, like a lot of non-fiction books. But I would go to sites like Upwork and Fiverr to get those made. I don't create the books. I hire a writer, hire an illustrator, hire a book cover designer. I would
Mm.
create the titles and do all the SEO stuff, things like that. So yeah, I was doing that since I was about 19, going well, doing the Audible side of things as well, the audio books, that was going well. But I found my journey was just like super, like, it was just a roller coaster, man. It was up and down. It wasn't consistent. And I felt like I was just doing something to make money, and I wasn't actually building a legit business. So a few years ago, I decided to sit down and actually just focus on one audience. And that's what I ended up doing, man. And it's the best decision I made. And now I have a legit business, a legit brand where I only focus on one type of audience. And yeah, man, I like my results from last year to this year have doubled, and things are going really well. And I'm just like, I think when you focus on one thing, as we were talking about before, you actually have direction. You have a path, and like, you know where you're going. Whereas if you're scattered and, you know, this and that, and then, oh, what about this? Like, you just don't have a solid path to follow, you know? So it's hard to set the goals. It's hard to create your day and your routine, you know?
What's your day routine look like?
Man, usually I wake up about 9, 10, and then straight into the office. I'll be there for like 3 or 4 hours. Obviously I have like my lunch, my first meal, and then it's the gym. I learned the Spanish when I need to. And then at night, you know, like usually it's either education or, you know, fucking around with my friends. Obviously I'm traveling
He's
a lot,
honest.
right? So
Yeah.
I mean, bro, in all honesty, I think the best thing about online business as well is like, it actually doesn't take that much work. You just need 3 to 4 hours of focused work, in my opinion. Like, obviously it depends what you're doing and where you're at, but if you've got a solid team behind you, and you know where you're going, and you know, you've got the systems in place for the most part, 3 to 4 hours of solid work is good enough. And then by then you're waiting on the new tasks to come back. And, you know, for at
Yeah,
least
I
for me
agree.
anyway.
I would say, like, I always try to hit like that 4 hours of deep focus work. 4
Yeah.
hours of deep focus work. And then obviously on top of that, I have like client calls and stuff too. So sometimes that's a little more, right? But yeah, if I could be like grinding 4 hours, I'm solid, man. Like, that's a productive day for me.
Yeah, bro. And you know, that's just another bonus to this life as well. It's like when you make money online, you have an online business, you're able to scale, and you're able to create systems in a place where you work less, but you still are able to make more. And you know, that's the best part about it. You know, obviously this is probably more advanced stuff, but yeah, that's what I love about it. You know, you get freedom. You're not fucking desk for 9 hours a day, and you know, you can basically do what you want. You can still travel, you can still go on holidays, you can wake up when you want, you can go to sleep when you want. You know, that's the best thing about it, I think.
That's solid. That's solid. So where would you recommend guys getting some help? Like, let's say I'm like, yo, Brock, I right now I'm working at Starbucks, and like, I really love what you're telling me. Like, I want to move to Paraguay too. Like, how can I get started with publishing? Like, where do I go? What would you tell me?
I would say either buy the Mickelson twins course or Sean Bolwett's course if they want to get into what I get into. Do that and go through it, invest in the course. And then while you're going through that and you're investing in books, I would hire a coach for once a month. Whoever it is, you'll find
Life
them.
coach, or
You just know, like a coach that knows exactly like what he's doing inside that specific business. So, you know, there's coaches inside these programs, or if there's anyone you find on YouTube that you trust and you see their results and you want a similar life, I would once a month I'd catch up with them. And obviously that's a decent amount to invest probably at the end of the month, but
yeah,
that's what it takes. But yeah, like, I think also you need to pick something that works for you, you know, and you know, just I always say go on YouTube and have a look at everything, experiment, you know, with what's out there. And you know, there's so many options. So think about your strengths and think about how much money you have and which one suits you best. I like to go on Empire Flippers, which is a site where people sell their e-commerce businesses. That's a good way to go and look at, you know, people that are actually making a shit ton of money, and it's a good way to like give you confidence. Okay, this actually works. There's
you got to open your
right
mind
here.
and show, that the people are making this kind of money. Like, don't limit your mind. You got to open your mind and see that this is possible. People are doing this, and if they can do it, you can do it too. We're all regular people.
I think going on Empire Flippers would be a good move, just to like, because yeah, man, I mean, the beginning of all this shit, when I was doing what I do, man, not many people believed what I was doing. Like, no, there's always like, oh, nah, it's a scam, or oh, nah, it's this. But like, if you actually go on the site and you look, and it's a legit site where there's like 50, man, 60, 70 on all sorts of different things, drop shipping, KDP, which is what I do. You got the software businesses. Oh, there's so many Amazon FBA, like far out, man. Like they're selling these businesses for millions and millions and millions. And what if you can just sell yours for 100 or 200 and just take a small piece of the pie,
What if I just want to buy a business and not start one from scratch? Can I do that?
Yeah, I think that's something you could easily do as well. Yeah, that's something people do. Instead of buying a house, buy that instead and then build it.
There you go, guys. We're giving you some free value here. All you got to do is go to Empire.
Yeah.
Wildin', bro. Wildin'.
Bro, can you hear that alarm? Oh, it's off now. It's all
Nah,
good. Don't worry.
Can't hear it. Can't hear it.
All right, cool.
Wild, man, that's cool. So yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm brand new to the game. I want to escape. I see Jacoby traveling. I see Brock traveling. I see like Brock's eating this crazy tomahawk steak, man. I want to munch on that. I want to go down to Paraguay. What do I do? Okay. I'm gonna go buy myself a business. I'm gonna, maybe invest in some mentorship. Brock, could you coach me? Would you be able to coach me if I hit you up? Like, how can I get in contact with you?
Yeah, I do private coaching if people want to take it. If it's inside the Kindle publishing stuff, that's where I know the most, and that's where I expertise. So if someone wants private help through me and inside the publishing stuff, I'm more than happy to help. I've got a fucking Europe trip coming up for a solid month, so I might not be too active in the next month, but
hit him up after summer.
For sure. Yeah.
Where can people find you, man? Where can people
just find me on Instagram, man. It's just my full name, Brock_way on Instagram. Just hit me up on Instagram and I'll reply there.
You heard him. Sick, man. So where are you going in Europe? What's the plan?
The plan is I'm meeting up with my mate, who's from London, but he lives in Oz, and I'm going to see him there in Madrid. Going to be Madrid, Barcelona, Naples, Italy, Split, Croatia, Czech Republic, and Hungary. So, and also England after that as well. So by then it will be mid-August, and then I'll probably head down south to Spain. Or might see you in Croatia or something, mate. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'll also be in Croatia, so we'll have to run it, man.
Yeah, we'll have to link something up for sure, man. So yeah, then, man, this is a thing. I don't know. So many things like change, and you don't know where you're gonna be in like 2-3 months a lot of the times. But I think I'll probably slowly head back home to Thailand, and then I'm back in Oz mid-December.
Oh man, so you're gonna leave Paraguay like for a while?
Oh man, I'm spewing, bro. I'm spewing. I love this place.
That's sad, man. This is your new home.
I know, man. It's gonna be good though when I come back. I'm gonna lose my Spanish as well. I need to like keep practicing with that while I can. But yeah, I mean, I still got a lot to do in South America, man. I haven't been to Argentina. Like, I want to do a bit of Peru. I want to do more of Colombia. So I've got to get that in it as well.
I hear you, bro. No, dude, I really love like leaving for a bit and then coming back, because it definitely like makes you appreciate like your kind of like base place. Because for me, I usually do like 6 months, kind of somewhat sedentary, and then I split up like 3 months, or I kind of just cruise around for 2-2-2. Dude, that's my style. But Europe trip, man, I always tell guys, like, get a one-way, go out there, and you never know, you're gonna meet people, you're gonna be cruising around, some opportunity's gonna come up. So if you want to do that the Euro summer trip, go for the one-way, man, and then just see where you end up.
I haven't done it as well, man. I haven't done it yet, so I'm pretty keen to see what it's like, and obviously get a proper experience of the continent there. But yeah, it's a bit, I'm still going to be working and whatnot, but it's a bit more of like, a holiday for me. And then, after that, I'll get back into work mode.
That's killer, bro. That's killer. Yeah. No, it's always interesting, man, when you when you're traveling and you have to work too, because it's different than when you're just on like vacation, like back when you're in like maybe in school or with your family, where you can just go and completely immerse yourself or just like do the tourist stuff. But when you're working, it's like a weird hybrid of, I mean, it's why when I go places, I like to go more than like I don't go for like a week and stuff now. I'll go for like a month or 20 days minimum, right? And I like to kind of immerse
Yeah,
myself,
bro.
find the local gym,
Yeah.
find like a local restaurant, find my local stuff. And then I just kind of like build a routine in that place. And then for me, I feel like you really haven't conquered that place until you can like see yourself living there. And then once you see yourself living there, you're able to kind of like put yourself in the perspective of like locals, and then it becomes like a reality for you, right? That's my style, man.
Yeah.
I like just becoming one
Yeah, bro. I like,
with the culture.
yeah. 3 to 6 months is a good stint. I think you get a proper look into the city, the
Even
culture. You
6 months,
give
yeah.
yourself more opportunity. Yeah, you give yourself more opportunities to meet people.
Build a social circle
Yeah,
down there. Yeah.
yeah. These 2 week trips and 1 week trips, I don't like them. Obviously for Europe, for me, I'm kind of just getting a vibe and I'm going with a friend. It's just going to be a bit of a holiday. But if you really want to like dive into a place, especially in Thailand and South America, like, yeah, I definitely recommend like spending like a longer time there. But yeah, it's a weird mix, man. Like as you were saying before, with the holidays and you're still working. I never really feel like it's like a weird mix. Like I always feel like I'm on holiday and like, but I always feel like I'm working. It's
But you
kind of
always have
like a
that
weird
work in the
mix,
back of your head. So you can never 100% disconnect. You're always like,
Yeah,
gotta go get
yeah.
that
And but
done.
I'm the thing is like I'm happy to do it. It's not like I wake up and I'm like, fuck's sake. Like I'm super happy to just get onto my laptop, man, and work. If I don't work, for 1 week and I do nothing, I am super pissed. Like I have to, otherwise I'm just losing money as the minutes go by, right? So yeah, it's a weird mix, but I like it. I can't just do nothing, but you just got to set your life up in a way where you can, still focus in the morning and then do what you want later on, right?
Yeah, man. What's your long-term vision with the business you built right now?
With the business I'm building right now, my vision is to sell it in about 3 to 5 years for over 1 million. That's my goal. I'm on the path to get there. I think I'll be able to do it within that time frame. Things are going like really well, so that's the goal there. And then after that, I think I'll eventually get into what we're talking about here, bro, and start to help the guys out there do the same thing, right? As we were talking about before, it's really important to focus on one thing. I'd love to do both. I'd love to, create a YouTube channel and start helping everyone, but I have to focus on one thing. And if I want to get to my goal in 3 to 5 years, I'm just focusing on this and I'll worry about the other stuff later. But yeah, overall, man, that's my goal. And eventually I want to be able to help, those that are close around me as well. Like at the moment, I'm helping my mom and my brother and some friends inside the business. They're making some money now. So that's good to see. And then obviously when I set myself up, I'm going to be able to do, help them out, especially my mom. So that's the goal, man, at the end of the day for me.
You win, squad wins, whole fam's winning.
Yeah, man. That's how it goes.
That's cool,
But
bro.
yeah, it won't stop there. I always just want to, I want to be building something. I don't know what it will be in the future, but I can't do nothing, man. I don't understand these people that like think about retirement and just doing nothing. Like I couldn't think of anything worse than doing nothing. Like I always want to be doing something, right?
Oh man, I just got back from like 2.5 months in West Africa in a rural beachside hut in rural West Africa. I had a little business, business partner split, and I just went out there for 2 months. I had one of my agencies still running, like a couple of, like 1 to 2 hours a day, just working on that, keeping it going. And I just sat for 2 months, and I was just like, you know what, this is fun, but it also sucks. Like I can't just sit and do nothing. There's levels to this game. So yeah, I recalibrated, kind of reshifted things around, and now I'm back to it. But I definitely need that time to kind of just, I got to that level, but then I saw it wasn't, I was in the tropics. I was surfing every day. I was just in this little hut, like straight out of like Castaway or something, man. Like it was
Fuck,
like
man.
a simulation, man. It was crazy. Like, and I was like, this is insane. But at the same time, I was like, I can't just sit here and drink coconuts and eat papaya and surf every day. Like, it's not it. So I don't know. Like,
Oh
there's
my
some guys that
God,
are
bro,
just
it's
satisfied
crazy.
with that. I just can't do that though. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm back to
nah.
the drawing board. Came back to the Western world, man. I went out there, completely escaped. Like, bro, I would go on these walks in the morning. I wouldn't see a soul for like 10 miles. I'd go on these long, long runs. I'd see, just no one. And then I come back here,
Bro, what
I'm
was it
living in,
like?
what do you mean? What was it like? It was just
What
empty.
was
There's
it
probably
like
10
coming
people.
back? Yeah, but what was it like coming back from like emptiness to Western world shit?
It's crazy,
It
man.
would have
Like
been crazy.
I'm in Southern California now. I'm in San Diego. I'm from Santa Barbara down to San Diego, down to Tijuana, Mexico. It's like 21 million people. It's one of the most populated, most desirable coastlines in the world, right? Like this is the spot. There's everyone's here. There's traffic, humans, bodies, buildings, everything's here, man. It's
Crazy,
like
bro.
crazy. So going from that back to here, it's definitely like, oof, it flips you. But like sometimes you need to get that escape to kind of reposition and give yourself that perspective again. Because it's, I mean, you can see that there's people out there living on with nothing, completely happy, just with $1 a day, and you see people out here hustling,
Yeah,
and they're just they're
I
not
think,
happy.
yeah, man. I think that's a good thing about traveling as well. Gives you and traveling for a long time and in poorer countries, it gives you perspective, right? Like I think that's the main thing. And what I notice as well about traveling is like obviously you learn a lot about different countries, but I genuinely feel like you learn more about your own. And I think that's like been the biggest hit for me is like you just realize more about your own culture, the things that you maybe took for granted there, or how it all works there, and you're able to think deeper, and it's just you just gain a wider perspective on it all.
Yeah, man. I was hanging out with these guys like in their like mid 40s, man, and they didn't like one of the dudes, super chill, bro. He opened up one of his huts to me for like a super like ridiculously cheap rate. I was living with him and his crew, and it's like on a mattress, man. Very simple, like, right. And he didn't even know how
Yeah.
to read and write. So I was texting him on WhatsApp one day. I was like, "Yo, where are you? Like, I'm coming back to like to the crib," and he didn't answer me. And I was like, "What? Like, that's weird." And I realized later he told me he didn't know how to read. So he
I'm
always
coming
sends
back to the crib.
but he so so
Bro, that's
so
so
he
funny.
he he only communicates by voice memos on WhatsApp, right? So he can't like if you
Wow.
text him, like if you write out like, "Yo, what's up, bro? Like, how are you?" He doesn't know, he can't read. He literally cannot read. He never learned how to read. He dropped out of second grade because he was the oldest brother in his family, and he had to go and work the farms so he could pay for his younger brother to go to school. So when I heard his story, and he told me his vision one day, man, he's like he's in this situation. His vision one day is to help other African children build schools and help other children that didn't have the opportunity he had. And I was like, man,
Wow,
that's
bro.
like that hit me, bro, because he can't he like, bro, he can't even read. He's 45, and there's still people out there in this world that don't have access to like the basic things that we have that we take for granted. Like he can't even text. It's crazy. Like when I saw that, I was just like, man, like if I could help this guy somehow, like that would be amazing. But you see this all the time when out there traveling in these immersive situations. You see kids that don't have enough to eat, especially in Africa, man. Like it's different than any other place that I've been.
Yeah.
I grew up most of my life there. Most people here know, but for you, like I grew up most of my life there, and going from there to the Western world to Europe, it's just so it's even more so like South America. You have parts that are impoverished, yes, but it's just a whole nother level in Africa, man. And it's like it's just, yeah, man. It's just sad because I don't understand how we're such a developed society, but we still have children that don't have enough food. We still have people that can't read and write. Like that's insane to me, man. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Nah, man, it's a massive jump. And that's
And then
one
there's
thing I
people like
realized as
us. There's
well.
people like us making money online, working from our laptops with Wi-Fi and all this. And it's
Yeah.
like, man, we're privileged. Like we are like, and we
100%.
can't take it for granted, man. So it's like my mission is like I
Yeah.
want to help as many people, like you said, man. My goal is to help as many people, help my younger self, help other guys that are wanting to wanting to find like this kind of path. Like it's possible, it's doable. You can achieve it, man. Like it's not it's not a fairy tale. Like you can achieve this if you really if you're motivated, especially if you have if you're from the Western world, man. You really have no excuse.
Well, yeah. I mean, bro, we're born in literally the greatest time possible and the easiest time possible to make money. So if you don't make it happen, like later on when you've got kids and stuff and they're sitting there like what happened, like why did you not make money during this period, or how did you not succeed during this period, like obviously it is hard, but if you put your head down and really focus, get the right guidance, like it is very easy once it all clicks together. And yeah, man, there's no excuses, as you said, there is none.
Yeah, man. Yeah, crazy, crazy. You ever been to Africa?
No, bro, I have not been there. Do you recommend me going?
I recommend, man. Like it's definitely like a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, it's just eye-opening, man. It's another planet for real. Depends where you go.
Yeah,
Like if you go down to, some, there's a lot of nice parts too, but like the raw part of Africa, it's just like, bro, it's different. It's just different.
yeah, man. That's a different level there, bro.
It's a different level.
Crazy.
Yeah. And you're like, yeah, you're in these tribes and like you're just meeting these like elders in the village and they're all speaking like African languages, and you're just like, man, I'm just like, I'm in here.
There's no Spanish. It's like you got nothing.
Yeah.
Got to use your hands to speak.
No, dude, I was in the
Bro, that's
middle of
crazy.
this. I was in the middle of this ceremony. I don't know if I told you this, but I was in the middle of this like circumcision ceremony, and they're like, it's like, you know, tribal Africa. They're playing the drums. They're all dressed up with like, these crazy like masks and costumes, and they're like dancing around and they're celebrating these kids like becoming of age ceremony. Like, right, like think like if you ever seen like Madagascar, right, like with Alex the Lion, like like
Yeah,
ceremony becoming a man kind of thing, right? And
yeah.
they yeah, they got like they're like sacrificing like chickens and just yeah, like witch doctors, like crazy stuff, man. It's all like
Wow, bro.
just very raw, man. So when I was in that, it was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. This is very very different. I'm sure you've been in kind of
Yeah,
like some
man.
festival situations like that down in South America too, huh?
I mean, bro, I thought I threw myself in the deep end in South America, but obviously it ain't, in Africa and what you're saying there. But I mean, obviously I've seen some pretty crazy things compared to the Western world for sure. But if there's one thing I've realized, like talking about what we were saying before, like, people like the Western world and the beliefs and stuff, everyone is so scared, bro, about, traveling, or whether it's Thailand or especially South America, like in their mind, it's like, no,
It's
like you're gonna
dangerous.
die. Yeah, it's dangerous, like when I was leaving, bro, I had very, very, very few people tell me, like, oh, that's fucking awesome, man. Have a good time. See you later. It was all, oh my God, what are you doing? Like, be safe, like all this safety crap, bro. And I'm just like, it's just this, it's just a terrible mindset to be around, right? And like, there's one thing I've realized, like traveling and going to these different countries, the world's not as scary as people make it out to be, right? Turn off the fucking news, stay away from the people that give you advice on countries that they've never been to, and just fucking go, man. You got one life, just go.
Just go, man. Send it.
Send it, literally.
No, man. It's like, yeah, these I have friends, man, out there in Africa. They're like, man, America seems like one of the most like dangerous, scary places ever. And I'm like, what, really? Because yeah, people here think that it's crazy. They're like, yeah, like people have guns. There's all these cool shootings. Like, it's true, man. Like, I feel more safe back there than here in the U.S., man. When I'm out walking the streets of California with all these crackheads, homeless people, and you know,
Yeah, man.
it's just completely, uh, yeah, it's completely different, man. You get mugged. It's just terrible. In Africa, man, it's communal. Everyone's looking out for you. They say it takes a village to raise a child, right? Like everyone's there to help the kid,
Yeah,
learn the lesson, right? And it's just like a big family. Whereas in the West, man, we've got this very individualistic kind of mindset where, I help myself and that's it kind of thing, right? Like you got to figure it
yeah,
out on your own. Whereas, you know, over there it's just like it's just yeah, man, it's hard. There's so many differences, but yeah, dog, like it's definitely opens your mind and puts you, like, you got to put yourself in the shoes of other people. And I remember my first trip going somewhere else. I remember my first trip to the US was crazy, bro, because I came to Disney World in Orlando in Florida, and it was like, whoa, bro, I hadn't seen paved roads. I hadn't seen,
wow.
people with like anything, bro. I remember I was in the airport when I first got in the airport, and my brother and I were just amazed at how uh how obese Americans were, bro. Everyone was just so fat. It was just like, whoa, this is crazy. Because we're used to seeing like,
Yeah, bro.
skinny little kids, and then we just were playing with the with the water, the automatic water faucets for like 2 hours. We'd never seen like
bro,
just
that's
just
insane.
clean water coming out. We used to have to go as kids and like pull it out of the well, right? And it was just a whole different
Yeah.
just simple things like that, man, where it's like, yo, like
I
we
mean,
really have we
that's a
really have
big,
everything.
yeah, bro. I mean, that's a big perspective change for you. I mean, obviously I was born in Australia, man. So I was just around like that westernized shit. And for me, man, I was a bitch, bro, before I left. I was so scared of like, everything just because I was stuck in that bubble. And, like even when it came to third world countries, I was a bit like, because you're born in, super, well, quote unquote, safe country, and, everything's clean and whatnot. Like, yeah, man, I think one of the best things that happened to me is I became more carefree. I became less scared, and it kind of just traveling and going to these other countries and just living there. And COVID helped a lot, man. I mean, that put me in a situation where I had no choice but to leave, So, yeah, now I see the differences in the mind, and how it's just so different, bro, when you go from one to the other. But for you already experienced that growing up, right? So it would have been a bit different, right?
Yeah, no, man, I've been on all the different sides. I mean, there's always more to experience, but yeah, I guess I would like to say, yeah, I've definitely been in some very like different experiences than the average, maybe American or average person. And it's, yeah, man, it's one of my passions. Like I really want to one day be able to be a guide or someone that could be a portal to help other people kind of experience this other side of life and see, just be grateful for what we have. I'm so grateful every single day that the opportunity I have to be in a Western country, to have all the opportunities I have, to be making money online, to have a business, to have all this kind of stuff that is like, yo, I know all my best friends that I grew up with, they would give their left arm, their right arm, just to be in the same situation, just to even be in just even to be working at a Starbucks, just even have an iPhone,
Yeah,
just to even have like the opportunity at education, not even to be running a business or, doing all this. So it's like, man, you have a duty. Like if you're watching this podcast right now, you're listening to Brock or myself, or you watch this on your phone, you have a duty. Like this is not just like, don't take this lightly. Like you have a duty to because of your situation, to make a difference, to make, give back eventually, right? Like that's
yeah,
the bigger
yeah.
the bigger picture, right?
And
Like
I
we
think I've
have,
seen that.
yeah,
I've seen that here for sure, man. Like the girls that I meet here, the guys that I meet here that are from the country, the ability and chances they have are a lot less than us from the Western world, right? If you are born in the Western world and you grew up in the Western world, and you have those opportunities to make the money there, up until you're about 18. I think the best thing to do is make your money in the Western world, where the US, UK, Australia, whatever it is. And then, after that, after you're 18, in your 20s, make the money online from those countries, but live in the cheaper countries, in the countries like South America, Thailand, right? That's the best mix. And if you have the ability, that you're born in the Western world and you have the ability to be able to do that, I mean, man, even if it comes to just trying to ask your boss if you can work your job online, like maybe that's an option. Or, even if it's just freelance work, that's something a little bit easier in some cases. Or maybe you want to do sales or something, and you're just on the phone but you're still able to travel. Like you have the ability to, like, you speak English, you have so many opportunities. You're able to make money in the Western world, and you're able to leave. Like you probably have a very strong passport. These other people have passports that they can't even arrive in a lot of places, man. So yeah, man, I think it's a big
it's a
eye
divine
opener.
privilege.
And exactly, yeah.
It's a divine privilege, man.
Yep.
We all get different hands. Some of us have to work a little harder, but that should not stop you on your path to success.
100%, right? 100%.
And right now, you trying to swap a passport, right? You're trying to get your residency there in Paraguay.
Yeah, I just got residency here in Paraguay. So if the world goes crazy again and Australia tries to lock me, I can fucking leave. No issues. So I'm happy about that. And yeah, like, I mean, one thing about traveling is, usually these places give you like 3-month visas and then you've got to go, right? So for for this in Asuncion. Now that I have residency here, it's a second home for me, and I can stay as long as I want, which I like, especially if I want to just focus on work and not want to leave. And then I've also got the tax option as well, that I will eventually take. I haven't really organized that yet. I'm in the process of getting it all organized, but yeah, man, that's the next step. I just want to give myself, like more opportunities, give myself more freedom, and getting that was I think probably a really smart decision, especially something that I'll probably thank myself for in the future, right?
That's cool, man. No, that's cool. I'm in the process now, looking at a few different places, Belize, maybe some other South American countries, but I'm still on the hunt to find, my spot. But yeah, man, mad respect for that. I know we talked before a little bit on, it's maybe a little easier as an Australian than as an American. But what do you recommend for guys looking for a second passport? What do you think is the best option?
Oh man, I mean, it depends on your country. There's a lot of like different rules and whatnot. But at first, I'd probably say, do what we were saying before, like travel, experience these places first, try and find somewhere you like, go. And then there's a quote from Nomad Capitalist. He says, go where you're treated best. Everyone's different, right? Maybe some people like the beach, some people, don't want to learn Spanish, or maybe Thailand's a better option for you then, or whatever it is, man. Like, go out and experience it all, see what you like, and then from there you're gonna have a few options. Obviously you've got Paraguay. My brother did Panama. You spoke about Belize. I think if you're making more money, you've got Dubai as well. So, I mean, I think it's a smart move to gain multiple residencies, to give yourself, more opportunities, and you might not need it now, but who knows what happens in the future. And I mean, bro, with this tax shit, it's just stupid. Like, there's just no way I'm going to be, paying that much tax to Australia when I don't even want to live there. I'm happy to live here. And I can still go back there if I want. If I want to go back there 3 months, 6 months, a year, I can still do that. And that's probably maybe what I do. Maybe I go back there during the summer and spend 6 months in South America and 3 months in Europe summer or something like that. I don't know what my life's going to look like. I'm still young and I'm still figuring it out. But yeah, to have multiple flags, multiple bases, for places to stay. I mean, Australia, one thing for me, man, is Australia is so fucking far from everything.
And the time zone is just not it, man.
Yeah, and it's just smart for me to have another base on the other side of the world, right? So that was another factor. So maybe another thing to think about for the people that are thinking about it, right?
Gotcha. What's the tax rate out there?
It's
in
zero.
Australia.
Yeah.
In Australia.
Oh, in Australia as well, man. It depends on how much you make, but anywhere between the 30 to 50 mark around there. Ooh. It's just fucking silly, bro.
That's not. Yeah.
It's not good. This is the thing though, man, about living there. Australia is a fucking awesome place, man. Super nice beaches, good people.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, it is, man. It's a good life there. It's safe. But the truth is it's super expensive. Your lifestyle takes a hit. Especially if you're first starting out, you got to pay a shit ton of taxes. And kind of just sit there and think, what am I paying for here? At the end of the day, because I can't grow in Perth, man. I'm not around people that you're talking about what we're talking about right now. So that's the main thing for me as well. It's if I'm traveling, I'm meeting guys that I'm are like me, that think like me, that want to talk about money. They want to talk about self-development. They want to talk about residencies. They want to talk about travel, all of this stuff. So that's a win-win there for me. And I still get to go back to my home place for 3 months during the summer if I want to, or whatever, So yeah, that's how I think about it.
Yeah, no, I was just having a conversation with a friend the other day, yesterday at the beach, and she was asking the same thing. She was like, yeah, how do I find those kind of people like starting out? And it's taking that first leap, going out there. Because when you go out there and you take the risk and you start traveling, you taking the risk on an online business, you start meeting people that are doing the same thing. And then it just becomes like a wave, man. And then they introduce you to someone else, and then you just build that network.
Yeah, man. You gotta
leave your small town. You gotta leave your small town.
Yeah, man.
You got to.
And you just gotta do what, it's gonna be fucking scary, but like the
If it
people
scares you, it's
that
the
go
right
and
step.
do that, yeah, but I mean, eventually you realize that it's not scary as what it seems to be. But you know, with the news and the people you're around and all the crap that you're around and how it's all fear mongering, that's gonna really like fuck up your mind there. So, you know, you're gonna have to face that fear and make the jump. But yeah, as you said, bro, you're going to meet people that have made their own jumps from wherever they are. You know, like I've met people from all over, man, like Italy, England, America, and it's always the same conversations usually, man. Like if you meet these people that are actually living there for a few months or whatnot, they're on the same path, they're on the same mindset. So yeah, definitely travel if you want to meet guys on the same wavelength or girls.
I met all these Germans, and they were when I was down in Mexico, and I was like, man, you Germans are so cool. Like you're so like adventurous and open minded. And they're like, yo, that's only the Germans that you meet outside of Germany.
Yeah, man.
I thought that was funny. But yeah, it's like I met this Italian guy, bro. He's a custodian. He worked 6 months at a school in Italy, and then the other 6 months he rides his bicycle, and he was on his way traversing Africa. And he's just this old, like 60-year-old dude, like frail little dude, and he's just crushing it on the bike every day, and going through the desert, going through the heat. He's just out there. And I hadn't seen a European, another European looking, Western person since like, months. And he just rolls in out of nowhere, just dusted up. And I'm like, yo, like,
What the
buongiorno,
fuck, bro?
what's up? And he's like,
Bonjour.
I'm from Italy. I'm like, yo, where did you come from, bro? He's like, I rode my bike from Italy. He rode across,
Bro,
like,
what
through
the
Europe,
fuck?
down to Spain, came across Gibraltar, down Morocco, like all the way down. I was like, bro, like those are the kind of guys that
Man, that's
inspire me.
fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. Craziness, huh?
So what's next for you, man?
Next for me,
Travel,
man. I just got back off a
business?
crazy, crazy 7 months of traveling. I climbed Kilimanjaro with my dad, tallest mountain in Africa. I was in Brazil. I was in, learn how to kite surf. I was down in where else did I go? I was in the Caribbean. I was in Puerto Rico. I was in, Mexico for a bit. I was Ethiopia, Tanzania, Kenya, all over a bunch of countries in Africa. And dude, I'm just ready to chill and build. I went through that kind of
Yeah.
metamorphosis situation where I was just kind of monk mode into the wilderness there in Africa beginning of this year after I climbed Kilimanjaro with my dad and just kind of refocusing my life because just seeing what's the larger purpose, right? And that's why I'm doing this podcast here. I want to help guys achieve the same kind of freedoms that Brock and I have and help dudes break out of that normal lifestyle, that traditional path. So that's my mission. That's my North Star. And
Yep.
yeah, so that's where I'm at now. And building a few businesses now, still running my agency. I run, you guys know I run an advertising agency, so I'm still doing that and just, crushing every single day. Preparing, training for an ultra marathon, my second ultra marathon the end of this year. And yeah, dude,
Yep.
that's it for me. Hitting Croatia later with Brock, maybe the end of the summer.
What city are you thinking?
Every city, bro.
I'm only doing Split.
You only
when I
doing
go
Split?
for 7 days.
Okay.
But yeah, beforehand, yeah. But after, man, like I'm keen for anything. Pre link up, whatever.
Sick, bro. Yeah, no, we'll have to see. I have to see what the schedule's like. But yeah. Yeah, fam. Anything else you want to cover? I'm gonna probably hit a workout here in a sec. But yeah,
Nah, man.
anything else you wanna chat, talk about? I think we hit everything we wanted
Fuck, man.
to talk about. We talk about travel, residency, online biz. Yeah.
What do I mean? Yeah, man. I feel like we went through a lot. I mean, if I mean I've said it before, but yeah, like just to break it up and summarize everything, it's just online income is freedom, right? If you're able to organize that, a lot in your life is going to change. You're going to be able to do what you want and travel. So I think that for the first part, that should be your main focus. don't worry about anything else. Just focus on that. And then, yeah, like put yourself in uncomfortable situations, you know, go to the third world countries, go to Asia, go to South America, go and experience these places. I mean, you know, I say third world, but really they really aren't, you know, like
Developing.
I
Yeah.
honestly, yeah, I feel super safe there most of the time. It's all growing, you know, even if when it comes to learning a language, do that as well. I think learning Spanish is probably one of the hardest things I've had to do, man, but it's a super humbling experience. And it's very rewarding, bro. I mean, there's more people that speak Spanish than English. So the fact that, you know, I've opened up, you know, that and now I know Spanish. It's not at a perfect level, but it's going to get there eventually. I've just opened up my opportunities to meet, you know, 480 million people or something like that. Like, so, you know, something like that, it just fucking gives you more opportunities. You're able to meet more people. Like,
Yeah.
so, I mean, I would definitely recommend learning another language. And yeah, I mean, like your future is too predictable if you follow what other people are telling you. You know, if you go to uni, you buy a house, you know, you settle down, you stay in one place. You know, people talk about the butterfly effect and, you know, and whatnot. Like, truly, your butterfly effect is fucking nothing if you just stay in one place. You go to uni, you buy a house, then you work a job at 9 to 5. Like, I can tell you what's going to happen in your life. Not much at all. So just, you know, go against the grain a bit, follow people that are on the same wavelength, and yeah, like just fucking just make the fucking move. You know, it's gonna be scary, but you're gonna thank your future self for sure. So
Amen.
I think to wrap it up, man, I could probably say that. That's about it.
I preach it. You guys just heard it again from Brock. The exact same thing. You know, you guys got to get out there. You got to take action. You know, risk takers are history makers. You know, I say that over and over. Take the risk, take the jump, seek discomfort, get out there. You know, get a one-way ticket somewhere. Leave your town at the very least, man. Go move to a city, move somewhere where stuff's happening, right? Start
Yeah,
meeting people, start going out, learn another language. All these things, man. This is the first path. And then, you know, if you're trying to, if you really can't find anything, you know, how to make some passive income online, hit up Brock, hit up myself. You know, our Instagrams are in the bio here, so hit us up. You know, we'll try to connect you as best we can. And let's crush it. Let's see you guys out there. Let's do it.
yeah, man. Good podcast, man. Thanks a lot for having me. I really appreciate it.
Sick, Brock.
Happy to help.
Awesome, man. Thank you. We'll see
Perfect,
you in Europe sometime soon.
for sure, brother. I'll see you there.
Peace.
Peace, bro.